Hi there. Thanks for checking out my Kangen demonstration. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tristin Rupp, and I'm really excited to show you guys why I'm so crazy about Kangen water. Let's begin. This presentation is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. It is intended for educational purposes only. Always seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider with any questions regarding a medical condition. Now that we've got that out of the way, so here's my story. Who am I? Some of you may not know me that are watching this video, so I'll give you a little backstory about me. I'm an actress. I was born in Minnesota where I used to do a lot of acting, and then I moved to Los Angeles for about 5 years. I did a lot of professional acting out there. Most notably, I was on Criminal Minds, season 9 episode called Fatal. I've also done a lot of music videos, a lot of independent films, some other TV shows, a lot of commercials. I also am a singer, so I've sang with a bunch of different cover bands for weddings and corporate parties. I've gotten to travel the world singing. I've toured Europe, I've toured the US, I've toured Australia, and most notably 7th Ave. Some of you may know me from 7th Ave. Otherwise with Hot Chili, I used to live in LA and I would sing with them, and now I'm with the After Party and the Mix. And I'm also a dancer, so I also teach dance fitness. Some of you may know me as your prior Zumba instructor or Dance It Out dance fitness instructor. But in any case, so I'm a hustler, right? So I do all of these different things, and I've just been going from job to job, to audition, to make a living as an entertainer in general. Okay, so why am I a distributor for Kangen water now after getting to do all of those cool things, which I still do, but in addition, I also educate people on water. If you're a fellow actor or singer or model or dancer, you know the hustle, you know the struggle, you know the constant needing to go from job to job to job, and it's like feast or famine, right? So one minute you're booking a ton of jobs like crazy, and the next minute you're not booking anything. And that flow of money is always like up and down and up and down, and it can be very stressful. And the nice thing about Kangen water is this is like a side business that I can do, and it's like supplemental income. It's like a multiple streams of income to help offset, you know, the roller coaster of being an entertainer. So I've really found my second calling, if you will. This is a great before and after to show my before life and some of the things that I was dealing with in Los Angeles and after Kangen water. And this is about 6 weeks after I started drinking Kangen water. So some of the things that I was dealing with in my, what I'll say, my prior life, right? A lot of soreness. I was overweight. It was like an emotional roller coaster. I was dealing with a lot of hormonal issues. Some of you ladies might be able to relate. I was high on marijuana. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. A lot of gastrointestinal issues, a lot of burping and belching and bloating and inflammation, stressed. Oh man, so much stress. I'm a type A personality, and I get stressed easily and did not know how to handle it and deal with it properly. Addicted to sugar. Who isn't these days? Unless you're like on the keto diet. Tired, constipated. I was dealing with mineral deficiencies, which had to do with a lot of soreness in my muscles muscle cramps that I was dealing with. Just a toxic overload in general, just overloaded with dealing with all the toxins that I was getting in my daily life, and a lot of acne, actually, I was dealing with, again, with those hormones. And then I was introduced to Kangen water, and became the fittest of my life. I was not dealing with muscle soreness anymore. So those of you who are maybe fitness enthusiasts, or you work out, you lift weights, I do a lot of weightlifting, I do cardio, I do yoga, I do everything, but in the weightlifting world, there's a thing called leg day. And leg day tends to cause you to not be able to move around for the next 2 to 3 days. You're very stiff. And there's like a joke amongst the community, like, oh, I'm doing leg day today, like, ooh, Lord. And it was funny because I started drinking Kangen water, and I was doing my leg day, and then I was expecting to be an old crippled person the next day, and I wasn't. The soreness was, honest to God, it was reduced by 50–60%. So I could still feel, I was actually with my legs. So I could still feel the muscles that I had worked the day before. But it wasn't so painful and so stiff and so sore for the next few days. And that's because the water is so good at flushing out lactic acid, which I'll get to later. I was high on water instead of weed, more stable, I was relaxed and less stressed, I was dealing with stress better. It was just, I just didn't get as much anxiety. When you drink the water, it hydrates you so much better that a lot of times your hunger pains go away. Many times when you think you're hungry, you're actually just thirsty. So I would drink the water and I wouldn't be as hungry, and my sugar cravings were going away. So I was eating healthier just because it just felt easy. Normally, whenever I would eat, I would have a lot of belching and burping afterwards, and I just didn't. And throughout the day, I would have all these digestive issues, and they just subsided significantly. I was having regular bowel movements. I remember when I got my machine, I usually at the time was having one bowel movement a day. And I know that's TMI, I get it, but listen, we're all humans. We all poop. Let's move on. I was having one bowel movement a day, and after drinking Kangen water, I was literally having 4 or 5 a day. I could not believe how much was flushing out of my system. Stuff that had been backed up in my colon for 30-some years of my life was now finally getting pushed out of my system. And it feels so wonderful. Sometimes there's an emotional release with this. I've gotten many colonics before, and it was kind of similar to that. It wasn't as dramatic, but it was like a lot of bowel movements. It was a lot of getting rid of nasty stuff. So I was more energized, I was sleeping better, I was detoxing, and I was having clearer skin as the hormones were getting more balanced again. Here I am, okay? Here's a little bit about my story. I moved to Seattle in 2017 with my boyfriend at the time. And I was moving for him and for us to start a new life in Seattle. And things didn't work out. And I did break up with him. And that was May of 2018. And now I'm in a new city. I don't know anyone. I don't even know what I want to do with my life, because I left Los Angeles, where I was working as an actor, singer, model, dancer, hustling, struggling, just trying to stay above water. And I thought, okay, we're moving to Seattle. This is my opportunity to be a big fish in a little city, to work more regularly, but also to settle down, because I wanted to settle down. It was the right time in my life. And now I just felt like, what am I going to do with my life? And it couldn't have been more perfect timing that a month later, I met Mr. Dan Edlund at the Rock and Roll Marathon, where I was working as a brand ambassador. This is another one of those little side jobs you have to do. Maybe some people are Uber drivers or Amazon delivery drivers or babysitters or whatever. But as an entertainer, you're not always working. You're not always getting in 40 hours a week. So sometimes you have to fill in odd jobs. And one of those odd jobs was being a promotional model or a brand ambassador for various brands and companies. So I was working for Toyota at the Rock and Roll Marathon. And I was talking to guests as they go by, and Dan Edlund had come up, and he was talking to me and one of my other coworkers, and he had all this energy, like crazy energy. And I remember asking him, dude, where do you get all this energy? You're just like an Energizer bunny. And he said, it's the water that I drink. And I was like, okay, well, what's so great about the water that you drink? And he went on to explain it to me. Once I drank the water, I felt the differences. I learned so much about water. I know so much about water, it's almost a sin. It's almost a crime. But I'm actually really thankful for all of the education I've gotten. But like I said before, I found a greater purpose. And this business, this technology, is going to allow me to pursue not only the entertainment avenues that I want and do all the different types of jobs that I love to do, but it also gives me a sense that I'm doing something right for other people. And maybe you can relate, you experience this as you get older, you perhaps become a little bit less selfish. I feel like I was more selfish in my 20s, and in my 30s now, I feel like it's not so much about me, and it's more about what I can do for other people before I die. We only get so many years, we only get one life, and what are you going to do with yours? And I feel like helping people improve their health in ways that they never thought possible, taking away some of the pains that they've lived with for years, that they felt like they've had no answers, nothing has worked, to finally give this a try and having it just completely change their lives for the better. It gives me a lot of meaning and a lot of purpose. And I know I've said these words many times now, but when I said I was looking for something to do, something a reason to live, a reason to be here, a reason to exist, and this came across my lap, it was a no-brainer. Absolutely. And I haven't regretted it once. I haven't looked back. It's been nothing but incredibly rewarding. So, thank you again, Dan Edlund. I'll be thanking you for the rest of my life. Okay, moving on. So, Enagic is the company that has created these medical devices, and the company has a statement that is our mission. And our mission is to spread true health globally with compassion, one family at a time, to help people achieve true physical health, financial health, and spiritual health. And I also love this quote. It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. That's Warren Buffett. And the reason I put that quote up there is because most of you don't know me. I'm not super famous, but I do have a following. And the very first sale I got was to one of my fans, who's now one of my dear friends. And I had been posting a bunch of stuff on social media about this new water that I found out about and all these interesting things about it. And about a month, right around a month and a half in, she messaged me and she said, Tristin, I want to get one of those machines. I'm dealing with this, and this. How do we make that happen? And I said, great! My first sale! Ah! Helped her out. And I had to ask, why? Why did you decide you wanted to get one of these? And she said, I trust you. You have a reputation to protect. If you sold me something that didn't work or was way overpriced or was a scam or a sham, any of those things, it would absolutely ruin your reputation. She's like, and I wouldn't hesitate to tell people. And I know you wouldn't do that. I know you wouldn't do that. You have career goals, and this, if it wasn't real and legit, would ruin that. So I trust you. I trust that everything you're saying is true. So heck yeah, I want to get one of those. So just keep that in mind when you're hearing what I'm about to say today and you're watching my demonstration. I have a reputation to protect, and I wouldn't bother with all of this if that wasn't the case. Like if this wasn't legit, I wouldn't be doing it. Okay, so let's talk about Enagic really quickly. It is a privately held billion-dollar company. It's been around since 1974, and I get people who question this water because it hasn't, they say it hasn't been around long enough for them to see if there's any side effects, but it's been around since 1974, and actually the water itself has been around for centuries, but the devices have been around since 1974, and there's no side effects, only side benefits, so that's good to know. It is the gold standard in the water ionizer industry. It's tested and certified by the Water Quality Association, the National Science Foundation, and the American National Standards Institute. They are an original equipment manufacturer. So this building right here, this is the Enagic factory in Osaka, Japan. Every single part that goes into the machine is made right here. And they have like a 100-point inspection system. It's crazy, and it's just incredible how meticulous they are in creating these devices. The company has ISO certifications for quality control, environmental impact, and this one's really interesting. Approval for medical use. This is a really hard certification to get. It's got ID number 13485, and this is why our device, and only our device, is allowed to be used in Japanese hospitals and medical offices. Okay? We are also a member of the Direct Selling Association. There are over 40 global offices. 10 of them are in North America alone. And we are operating in over 170 countries. Oh, and an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. So there's a lot of stuff to be really proud of over here. You're probably wondering, oh my gosh, Tristin, what is Kangen water? Get to it already. What is Kangen water, King Kong water, kangaroo water, cane water, Cajun water, or my personal favorite, Kegel water? Well, first of all, Kangen water is natural. So it is actually the same phenomenon that happens when lightning strikes water. There's about 100 strikes that happen on Earth every single second. So what we basically call this bad boy is lightning in a box. This water is also found in about 7 places naturally on Earth, and these are just 4 of them right here. So it's found in Lourdes, France, Nordenau, Germany, Tokoti, Mexico, and Hunza, Pakistan. And they call this water miracle healing water, and people will line up for miles to fill up their jugs with this water. And in Hunza, Pakistan, actually, they are known for having no occurrences of cancer. So you can actually research that many people have to figure out why these people are not getting any cancer, and part of the reason is because of the water that they drink. Okay, so maybe you're one of those people, and if you are, where you think, well, Tristin, water is just water, right? Well, if you just think that water is just water, then I would encourage you to go to your bathroom, go to the toilet, fill up a glass, and have a sip. No, don't have a sip, drink the whole thing. Okay? If that's you, you probably shouldn't watch the rest of this presentation because I'm not going to get through to you. However, if you're thinking, well, no, I wouldn't drink toilet water, maybe not all water is the same, well, you'd be right, because not all water is the same. So here's 4 different examples of types of water that we're drinking now. We got tap water, but we're all aware, hopefully, that tap water is full of many chemicals like chlorine and fluoride, not good for you, and that's to kill the bacteria and the contaminants in water. Some of you probably drink well water. It can be sometimes more alkaline in nature, sometimes not. It is prone to contamination and it requires regular testing, and it's very expensive to maintain, and it still doesn't do what Kangen water does. We got bottled water, but of course the big concern with bottled water is the plastic, and it's expensive, and it's harmful for the planet and for us. Or we got filtered and distilled water, and you can make the water taste better sometimes with these things, but they leave no beneficial minerals for the body. And that's what I was talking about before when I was saying that I was sore and having mineral deficiency. So get this, water has a memory, and it remembers the minerals that you strip out of it. So when you drink that water and it goes into your body, it goes, ooh, this source has minerals that I'm missing. Yoink, 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 and it will strip it from your muscles, your tissues, and your bones. So the minerals were being depleted from my muscles, and that's why I was getting muscle cramps and I was so sore after my workouts. It was actually worse for me drinking RO water. So RO water is very, very bad. The Japanese call it dead water because it has no life left to it. Fish will die in this water. Hypoxia, anyone? No thanks, not me. Now, if you drink tap water or you bathe in tap water, I would really encourage you to go to ewg.org and click on National Tap Water Database. This is completely free public information for anyone to look up. You type in your zip code, it'll give you a list. You click on your water district or where you're getting your water from, and it will tell you how many contaminants are in your water. So you can find out what toxins you're hydrating with. Here's a list of a few. Now, going to ewg.org, I found a particularly nasty city. I believe this was Houston, Texas. So this is what it looks like when you go there and you click on the database and you click on your facility. 10 contaminants detected above health guidelines, and they list them: arsenic, chloroform, chromium hexavalent, the Aaron Brockovich story, the Aaron Brockovich movie, that's what that one's about. Radiological contaminants, all known to cause cancer. Cancer, 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 and 30 other detected contaminants. Take a look for yourself. Find out what yours is like. And this, what's in your tap water? So I was on tour with 7th Ave, and going from city to city to city, to hotel to venue, I lugged this bad boy, this machine right here. I lugged it to every venue and every hotel we went to. Yes, it was a pain in the, but it was worth it. It was absolutely worth it, and if you drink this water, you will understand why. So I had to unscrew all these different aerators, and here's just 4 examples of the many of what was in that tap water. I mean, look at that, that's disgusting. And it's like, okay, well, good thing that the aerator is catching that stuff, but the water is running through it constantly. This is nasty. Okay, so let's talk about the electrolysis process and the hydrogen production that's happening and how ionized water is made, briefly. Okay, so basically, the water from your tap, right, it comes out the faucet, and it goes through a hose, and then it goes into the machine, and it goes through the filter, and then it runs across 3 to 8, depending, medical-grade titanium platinum-dipped plates. And these plates are given an electrical charge. Some of them are positively charged, and some of them are negatively charged. And the water runs across those plates, and then what happens is that there are certain acids in the water that are drawn to the positive plate, which is the anode, and then there are certain minerals that are drawn to the negatively charged plates, those are the cathode. And through this ionization. OH negative, which is a hydroxide ion, which is your super powerful antioxidant, is drawn to one side, and then hydrogen ions, the H plus, are drawn to the other side, and then this water, the antioxidant alkaline water that has the production of the hydrogen gas, comes out the alkaline top hose, and then your positively charged oxidating water will come out the other hose, what we call the acidic hose at the bottom, okay? So that just kind of gives you an example. Now, we could go more in depth and I could get more sciencey and more technical beyond this, but how many of you needed to know how your microwave worked before you got it? No one? Because I sure didn't. I just said, it works, great, plug it in, and start. And then I got hot food, right? So, plug it in, turn it on, drink the water, it works, you feel great, great. Moving on. So this machine produces 7 types of water, and we're going from 2.5 pH to 11.5 pH. There's literally thousands of uses between all the different waters this machine creates. I'm going to briefly talk about the shine water. 4.5 pH, this will replace your Windex, okay? I've got it right here, shine water, streak-free shine on glass, chrome mirrors, rinse for your dishes, remove sticky residue, you boil your eggs in it, works great. My mom loves this water because it did replace her Windex, and she had a lot of Windex. And that stuff is stanky. It's nasty. I hate the smell of Windex. It's chemicals. It's not good for you. She used to spray that stuff on everything. And now she uses 4.5 pH water. It's just water, and it works even better. Streak-free shine, y'all. Beauty water, 6.0 pH. The pH of your hair and your skin is actually 5.5 to 6.0. It's an astringent and a toner, a moisturizer. It is a hair rinse and shine, aftershave, face wash, fur rinse and shine. I spray this on my dog all the time. It makes her fur nice and shiny. It can make great water for a lot of your plants if they like a slightly acidic water or a slightly acidic soil. So what I would normally do in the demonstration when I would have people is have you spray on one hand and not the other and rub that in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an image here that shows the before and after of when I did this. I did another video at home one time where I showed I had just gotten done washing the dishes with dishwashing liquid, like a really harsh one, and it dried my hands out like crazy. And I think it was in the middle of winter too, so my hands were really dry. And I just sprayed the beauty water on one hand and not the other. And then I took a picture of them side by side like this. And you can, maybe you can even tell here. If I zoom in, this hand looks so much better. The beauty water is definitely a part of my daily beauty routine. It is the last step of the 3 to give me radiant, beautiful, soft, moisturized skin and shiny hair. Okay, let's move on to pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, germicides, insecticides, rodenticides, homicides, suicides, and genocides. Whoa! That's right, folks. Sides means death. So let's talk about killing things. The EPA now allows us to consume up to 30 times more pesticides since 2012 because the bugs and weeds have become resistant. Number 1 most commonly used one is Ready Roundup. Google it. Number 2 is atrazine. Google it. If you didn't know about Ready Roundup, well, Monsanto is the company that makes it. Glyphosate is the active ingredient in the broad-spectrum weed killer. Glyphosate is associated with the development of non-Hodgkin lymphoma and many other health issues. And now they have lawsuits against them and they're losing. And that's why Bayer bought them out, but now Bayer is under fire, so it's not pretty. These are chemicals, ladies and gentlemen. Pesticides are chemicals that disrupt our endocrine system. They cause all kinds of health problems. They are so persistent, they stay in our environment for years, and soap and water does not clean these off. If you want to know what's on your food, go to whatsonmyfood.org, and I happened to do that for you, and I looked at tomatoes. They are one of the dirty dozen. Why? Because they have 35 pesticide residues found on them by the USDA Pesticide Data Program. And there's human health effects. It's a known or probable carcinogen, suspected hormone disruptors, neurotoxins, developmental or reproductive toxins, or honeybee toxins. And then they list them all here, saying what kind of toxins they are. I mean, you guys, these are poisons. And unfortunately, they harm more than the pests they are designed for. They're toxic, and exposure to pesticides can not only cause a number of health effects, but it's linked to a range of serious illnesses and diseases in humans, from respiratory problems to cancer. So, I mean, just look at the results from pesticides in the water. If it's not safe to breathe, how can it possibly be safe to eat? That's what they gotta wear to spray this stuff. It's incredibly toxic. So, what can we do? That is where strong Kangen water comes into play. Strong Kangen water is a pH of 11.5, so it's extremely alkaline. So alkaline, in fact, that it actually can emulsify oil, which I'll show you in a second. It's a degreaser, your produce washing cleanser, makeup remover. I do use it to remove my makeup. Laundry cleaner. I do use it to clean my laundry, and yes, it works. Stain remover, water for brushing teeth. Muscle pain relief. So if you have an injury or a swollen muscle, actually I'll soak a towel in 11.5 and put it on there, and it brings down inflammation. Sleeping aid, take it before you go to bed, helps you sleep. It helps produce melatonin in the body naturally. A hangover remedy, if you drink too much the night before, take some 11.5 before you go to bed, you'll wake up without a hangover the next morning. So, I'm going to demonstrate for you how good it is at taking off those pesticides we just talked about off your produce. So, here I've got some Nature Sweet Cherubs, and I'm going to put some in each cup. Got these from Safeway, just regular grocery store. And some strawberries. Now keep in mind, these are not organic. I have used the water on organic before. I would say the majority of the time when I use the 11.5 on organic stuff, I don't see any pesticide residue come off. There have been a few times where it has, but definitely unorganic, definitely, especially the dirty dozen, you're gonna wanna clean your produce off with this water. So, right here is just regular old tap water. I just got it from the sink from the house. And here is 11.5 pH water. I'm going to let those soak for a little bit, and we'll come back to it. Remember how I said that the 11.5 pH water emulsifies oil? I'm going to demonstrate that for you right now. So here I've just got a little bit of pure sesame oil. Probably got that also from Safeway. And I'm going to pour a little bit in here, in each. Okay. Now what happens when you mix oil and water? What's that? I can't hear you. I'm just kidding. They don't mix, right? That's the first thing we were taught in science class or chemistry class. Tap water, sesame oil, it separates instantly. The oil goes to the top. Now, when you take 11.5 pH water, don't blink. What? It emulsified it. Look at that. Boom. I'm gonna hold them up again. Pure sesame oil and tap water do not mix. Pure sesame oil and 11.5 pH water emulsified it and binded it and mixed it all up. So now that they've been sitting for just a little bit here, we are going to show you. So this is tap water, remember? This is the tap water again. This is the first one. Do a little toss, do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight, get down tonight. Hey, tomatoes getting down. Okay, so let's see if it took off any pesticides. Looks pretty clear to me, huh? Now, the 11.5 pH tomatoes. Tossity toss toss. Doing a little dance, making a little love. You can see the pesticides. Now, we know that this is true because they use oil-based pesticides because otherwise rainwater would wash all the pesticides off the produce. So they have to make them oil-based, and so that's why it looks yellow. It's the oil. It's like the pesticide oil that's coming off these tomatoes. And you can see that clearly right there. Grab 2 more for the strawberries. So here we go, tap water strawberries. I'm only gonna do these twice because there's a lot more going on there. Pretty clear, and 11.5 pH. Strawberries. I made them a little over full here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, yellow and dark pink. So, yeah, you can clearly see that the 11.5 pH water, and again, it's just water, took off the oil-based pesticides off of this produce. I mean, look, clear yellow, clear brown. What more evidence do you guys need? Get this off your produce, okay? It's not good for you. Okay, next. Another use for it is actually to help with sunburn. So this was me in Hawaii with my boyfriend. Took me there for my birthday last year, and I got sunburned. But luckily, I had my machine with me because I'd take it everywhere. And so I made some 11.5 in the hotel. I put, this is like one of my little makeup remover towels, and I put 11.5 on that to remove my makeup. But then I put 11.5 on it, and I put some Kleenex and put some 11.5 on the Kleenex, and I just let it soak on the sunburns. And the next day when I woke up, dude, it was gone. And the burn and the sting was gone. So it works really well for that. And then this is one of my clients. This is Karen's carpet before and after. She's got pets that live in the house, and they poop and pee, and they get really dirty, and everybody just brings dirt in on the carpet. And she steam cleaned it with 11.5, and all those stains came right up out of there. So incredible. Okay, so now let's talk about chlorine. Yay! So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that there's chlorine in tap water, which you already know, but it's helpful to see. Again, here we go with the tap water. Kangen water! Okay, so what I have here are chlorine drops, and it's called orthotolidine. And they say that if the water turns the color of the cap, you have an unhealthy, dangerous amount of chlorine in the water. So we're going to test the tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's Kangen, 5, 6. And you will see the water is starting to turn yellow. According to the U.S. Council of Environmental Quality, cancer risk among people drinking chlorinated water is 93% higher than among those whose water does not contain chlorine. And ladies and gentlemen, chlorine is just one of 315 chemicals found in our tap water supply. Look at that. I would say that that is the color of the cap. Pretty close. And I also have, do I have the chlorine chart? I do. So down here, color chlorine chart, I would say that this is about a 1.5. And it just seems to keep getting darker as time goes on. Like, it's getting so much darker. One more thing to note. Tap water. But this time, I'm going to stick my fingers in. I'm going to talk to you while I wiggle my fingers around in the tap water. Hope everyone's been enjoying this demonstration so far. Say you're doing the dishes, you're taking a bath, you're taking a shower, you're gardening with this tap water, you're putting this in your plants. Now let's see if there's chlorine left in the tap water. 6 drops, right? Is it turning yellow? Where did all the chlorine go? It went right into my skin. right into my hand because our skin is like a sponge. It acts like a sponge and it absorbs everything you put on it. So it absorbed all that chlorine. Look, that's where it was. That's Kangen water, right? So it's filtered. And that's because my hand was in it. So those of you who have children and they're bathing in this, I couldn't do it anymore. Dry, itchy skin. Nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Every 5 to 7 minutes in your tap water shower, you're absorbing half a gallon of chemicals. Not to mention breathing in all the fumes and the gases, right? So not only is it hot water, so it's opening up your pores, and then of course it's just like soaking into your skin, but you're also creating all this steam and you're closing the curtain or you're closing the door and you're breathing in those fumes. I don't shower in tap water anymore. I have my Anespa. I have this beautiful, glorious, glorious device. But when I do, like say I have to travel and shower in the hotel or whatever, I feel it. I feel it on my skin. It's dry, it's itchy, it's irritated. I feel it in my lungs when I breathe in. I feel sick. I feel like I'm gonna faint. It's not good. So, of course, Enagic has come up with a solution because they are the water people, and they've created the Anespa. It not only filters out and removes all of the toxins and chemicals in your water, but then it spins them around these rocks that are found in the Japanese hot springs. So it gets all of those minerals that are in the hot springs that make you feel so good. So every time I take a shower or bath, oh my gosh, it feels amazing. I don't get pruny. My skin feels so soft and silky and moisturized. It's great. It's incredibly relaxing, a total de-stressor. And yeah, baths can already do that already, but I'm telling you, this takes it to a whole other level. Okay, let's move on to the strong acidic water, 2.5 pH. This bad boy right here. So this is the really, really high oxidizing water. It's an antibacterial. It is a sanitizer, a disinfectant. It's great for first aid or wound care. So I get a cut or a scrape, I just spray on there, stops the bleeding, helps it heal, and prevents it from getting any bacteria. It's an odor eliminator. So use it for deodorant, use it as mouthwash. It's great on insect bites. Get a mosquito bite, slap it on there, helps with the itch and helps it heal faster. Sore throat, so I love to gargle with this, especially being a singer. Feels great, kills streptococcus, kills strep throat in your throat, and it also just soothes it, makes it feel so much better. I've been talking already a lot and I already feel a lot better. Yeah, so it kills 99.9% of all bacteria, viruses, molds, fungi, etc. in 30 seconds, and it's non-toxic. It is non-harmful to humans. That's why I put a picture of a baby on there. So if you have a nursery or a daycare, you can disinfect all the baby toys and all the baby utensils and all the stuff that they're going to put in their mouth, and it's not going to harm them. It's not going to hurt them. It's so harmless, in fact, that you can drink it and swallow it and be fine. I actually have had people who, with their machine, they just didn't know any better, but they thought they were drinking the 11.5, but it was actually the 2.5, and they were drinking a lot of it, and they freaked out, they thought they were going to die or something. I'm like, no, you'll be fine. Of course, they're just fine. Everybody's fine. It's not toxic. It's not harmful. But it kills bacteria. It's great. It's just water. Oh, here's an example of a patient who had psoriasis on their skin, and after 2 months, it got so much better. And then here's another example of this guy's back. You can kind of see it got better every month. It got better and better and better. And then this one is eczema on this person's ankle, and they used the 2.5 to treat it, and it completely cleared, no relapse. Very powerful. Hypochlorous acid is the scientific name for the 2.5 pH water, and it's better than bleach and all other chemical cleaners at killing. There's a list of just a few.
The City of Fort Worth has another tool in its fight against COVID-19, a disinfectant solution, and the key ingredient is electricity. It's called e-water. A local cleaning company is producing it. That company, Maid Brigade, is donating supplies to the city. The police and fire departments are using the cutting-edge mixture to clean their vehicles. The CDC-approved formula, salt and water, is vigorously mixed in a special machine which ionizes it. The result is hypochlorous acid. It's the same thing our white blood cells produce to fight bacteria and infection. E-water kills any pathogen it comes in contact with. E-water is not a new concept. In fact, it's well known in Russia and Japan. It's applied with a special sprayer that maximizes coverage. E-water is never sold in stores because once it's produced, its shelf life is only 7 to 14 days.
So that video is really cool because obviously right now everybody's freaking out about you-know-what, and it's cool that in Texas they're using that. I also have a client in North Mankato, Doug Zernicle with Zerny Clean Services. It's a carpet cleaner, but he's been hired by many offices and buildings in Mankato to disinfect them with all this 2.5 pH water that he makes at his business. So it's boosting business, which is great. So we're gonna totally move on now, change subjects. The current overall health and longevity from the World Health Organization. Here's just a short list that shows that Japan is living to 84.74. The United States is number 53 right now with an average life of 78.88. Not so good. So the history of the world life expectancy, we're going to go from 1960 to 2010. Japan went from being number 35 to number 1, and now they've been number 1 for over 3 decades. The US, however, went from number 16 to number 30. But remember, this was 2010. Now we're number 53. Okay? So consider the source, right? These devices are made in Japan. They're endorsed by the Japanese Association of Preventative Medicine as a tool to prevent disease, right? And so here's an example of someone using it in a Japanese hospital where they use Kangen water. Here's a list of some of those hospitals. Over 250. Let's go back to America, right? Why are we number 53? Well, let's think about it. We're in a country where we sell sickness. We have allopathic medicine here. That's more common. We still have homeopathic medicine and other things, but allopathic is really what's being pushed on us. It's the art of branding a condition or a disease. In 2008, we spent $2.4 trillion in healthcare. In 2020, we're going to spend about $4.1 trillion in healthcare. And it's expected that in 2030, we're going to spend $16 trillion in just healthcare alone. These are some great books and some great documentaries I recommend highly. The Magic Pill, great documentary on Netflix. Forbes pushing pills, selling sickness. You're not sick, you're thirsty. Don't treat thirst with medication. What the health? Right? Read these, watch these. How many of you know somebody who's on a prescription medication? Who takes a prescription, who takes a drug, who takes a pharmaceutical drug? How many of you do it yourselves? How many do you take? How many are you on now? How many of them have side effects that caused you to be on another one? Right? I mean, I remember my mom used to have a pill bottle of prescription drugs that she'd have to sort out every single day how many pills she'd have to take. I mean, I know people who are on like 20 medications a day. That's just messed up. It's just too much. It's too much toxic overload. This causes this, then you take this, but there's a side effect that makes this happen, then you gotta take this to cover that up, and it's just covering up symptoms all over the place, and you're not getting to the root cause of disease. The United States and New Zealand are the only 2 countries where direct-to-consumer advertising of prescription drugs is even legal. And you know in those commercials, it's like people are just happily jogging on the beach, or they're in a park together, or they're playing with their kids. Take this prescription drug to help with this. Side effects include irritable bowel syndrome, erectile dysfunction, suicide, depression, obesity, kidney disease, heart disease, cancer, death. I mean, they gotta say it legally, but it just blows my mind. Okay, so here's some fun facts. 70% of Americans are on medications. The most commonly prescribed drugs are antibiotics, antidepressants, and pain-killing opioids. 68% of adult Americans are excessively overweight. 68%. I look back and I watch movies from the 60s and 70s, and you look around, watch the background actors, watch the extras. Everybody is skinny. And back then, it was just that everybody was normal. And now I look at it and I go, wow, all the background people are skinny. Everyone's so skinny. And now, it's just completely changed. Everyone has just gotten so big. 1 in 3 Americans have diabetes. 1 in 3 have diabetes. And 1 in 2 Americans will have cancer. Dr. Victor Rios, PhD, biological chemistry at MIT, your body can only absorb 15% of tap, well, spring, and bottled waters, so basically all other waters, but it can absorb 85 to 95% of Kangen water. So Kangen water, ladies and gentlemen, is literally 6 times more hydrating. Okay, so we talked about all the other waters, now let's get to the drinking water, right? So that's a range of 8.5 pH to 9.5 pH. Kangen water has 3 remarkable properties, and they are superior hydration, it is the richest source of antioxidants, and it is alkalizing to the body's tissues. So let's get into those.